on the side of Fnatic, and you can go for the same ones.
Or you can change it up. So far, Giants just changing the order. Jason Siva, Rumble still up. Morgana Thresh still up. And we'll see what the teams decide to prioritize.
Yeah, we were talking so much about this Nocturne here and how it's so risky. We're going to see what Giants really wants to play for World League up in that top lane, we would assume. So same bans, nothing changed. Giants took the Alistar before. Valued that because of the 2 support bans coming in. Of course.
Golf claps. That's deserved, but a big smile on Werlim's face as nothing has changed thus far. So Alistar first pick once the rest of the supports were taken off the table. That Morgana and the Thresh. Do Fnatic want to run the Rise Rek'Sai once again? It already got off to a good start. Good bounce back, I'll use that term rather.
Say it like that.
In version 1 of the second time these 2 teams have met in summer. 30 seconds on the clock and some pretty stern, serious faces for Fnatic, which is fair.
That's obviously what you also what you gotta talk about here as Fnatic. Like, do we just run exactly the same comp here? And also, how do we handle that early game now? If it's against somewhat the same from Giants because of that start they had. It was such a good start taking out these 3 towers here. So both teams obviously have a lot of things to talk about. Which order do you want to show it? We obviously got Janna. You don't have to take that one now if you are Fnatic, unless it is because you don't want to show everything and you want to maybe leave it up there for Giants to say, okay, are they going to run the same composition? We're not 100% sure yet, because you obviously don't show anything by taking a Rek'Sai again. Tier 1 jungler left on the table. And then we talk about this Janna coming in for Yellowstar.
So a couple of seconds left in this next rotation here for Giants. For the most part, nothing new, but the order has shuffled about. We heard that it was meant to be a Maokai instead of Nocturne for top lane. If Giants had watched the first 2 games, had watched the intro to the day, maybe they'd look a different direction. We're not big fans of the Maokai on the caster team.
Depends on how they play early game with the Maokai. Because we get to see what it can do, or we got to see what it can do late game.
Fnatic's not going to let you get to late.
No, I know.
Fnatic's not going to let you get to late.
It was very clear the Giants were saying we really want heavy scaling. Possibly expecting Fnatic. I mean, Fnatic is a team that never really wins in the laning phase because they don't have to. They value outplaying you on the map a lot more than just the laning phase itself. So you can take scaling comps, but you need to get the gold somewhere to start snowball your way to that late game, because in the mid game is where Fnatic really starts shining. And that's obviously why Giants valued getting out these towers so much in the last game. Yeah, we all gotta show that Nocturne.
I think there's been a trend that has started. We did see Reckless prioritize the Corki in the previous game. This time around is going to go Lulu and Rek'Sai. So we're expecting Lulu most likely in Huni's hands. We've seen him run it before and really put on quite a stylistic show. One game he did play 3-1 and 10. And it'll allow Febiven to run poke if he wants to as well. There's a lot of disengage if they want to go that route.
Yeah, very, very much. Or a lot of disengage, sorry, in that department here to protect Reckless, obviously. Disengage is great unless you're against a hairy poke composition, then you need more engage to get onto them. So Fnatic here, not looking really like a team who can force any fights on Giants. We know Ezreal is also a flex pick. We knew it was Runeglaive from Pippin in the last game. Can also be for Abdri down the bottom lane. He likes to go Iceborne Gauntlet on it, then it's more kite focused. So Giants, yes, okay, it's the same picks, but they try and put them in the order where it's a bit more flex picks coming in. And then Fnatic changing it up. We mentioned this Kalista, how it's fairly strange nobody picked it. But really Giant, they're looking at Fnatic here and saying, you are running purely disengage, protect the backline. So we're just going to keep going in the poke department here. We're going to put that Ezreal in the mid lane. We add in a Corki as well. Obviously, yes, very magic damage focused for them. Galio has been changed a little bit here in the latest patch.
And he was played yesterday in the European Challenger Series. Didn't go particularly well, but we did see it. It's something that's popped up. For Fnatic, for disengage and for poke, Azir would most certainly fit into that composition.
Yes, but again, if you are Fnatic, are you not concerned about the fact you need to be able to start a fight? I mean, Varus could, with his ulti, start a very safe wave clear as well to try and stop this Ezreal here from pushing in. Obviously, Azir would destroy Ezreal in the laning phase and give you a fantastic team fight. But again, Giants is not looking to all in you. They're looking to very, very slowly poke you down. And only Febvman is able to respond, because Huni's obviously going to sit in the side lane with the Shen. He's not going to be there with the rest of the Fnatic team most of the time in this 1-4 setup for Giants, where you have the Ezreal and the Corki sitting together. So I really want to see how Fnatic wants to play this one out. If they start getting a lead early on, though, that's where you have this situation where you can start setting up flanks very effectively. You can speed up a Rek'Sai and you can force a team fight where you're stronger. That's always the thing about both comps. If you fall behind, you're not meant for these all-in big team fights. You're often very, very squishy. If you get caught out by some CC, you end up dying very fast, and you need time, you know, by landing that poke. Unless you're Jace and you just one-shot everyone, but that's different. That's why he's banned.
Two-shot everyone.
Fine. One rotation and you're dead.
I like that. I like that.
Still though, Fnatic, I mean, for most teams I would say this is very risky to run so much disengage and not hard engage. But I want to see what Fnatic's plan is with it.
Well, if there's any team that's going to be able to at least push those side lanes, maybe play for Baron to help win you the game. We know how good Baron is against poke compositions. We know how good Fnatic are at taking Baron at every stage of the game, but particularly good at the 20 to 30 minute mark Barons. Team comps are on your screen. For the second time today, hashtag GIA win or hashtag FNC win. If you are just tuning in, just want to give you a quick update. During picks and bans, there was an erroneous pick by Giants. When they did notify the LCS officials, they should have been offered a remake. That didn't happen, and that means they are entitled to a new pick and ban phase to make up for the error in the league rules. So guys, in the interest of competitive integrity and the spirit of the rules, the game was remade. This is the new picks and bans.
Yeah.
And this is the second time Giants will have a chance to take down Fnatic's 10-0 winning streak.
And also, we don't want to see Nocturne in our games. Not biggest fan of that one. So happy he's...
No, but hang on, you weren't that disappointed last time round.
I was.
Your mood changes.
Really liked it.
Your mood changes.
No, I was talking about how risky it was with the Nocturne here. I only had one positive thing, and that was the fact that you could like pop your ulti and then TP somewhere and the other guy won't follow. That was about it.
Fickle like the mob. You managed to change your opinion. But this time around, we're going to see a...
I didn't like it. Anyway, we got a Kalista as well now, so everything is back to normal.
Well spotted, Captain. We'll see what Reckless can do with all the protection. With Lulu, with Janna, with Azir to keep him alive. No makings of a lane swap this time around. And we'll stop referencing this time around in a few minutes' time.
I would not prefer to be Alistar Corki into Kalista and Janna. Not a lane that would go well for me. So easy for Fnatic to proc that 12% damage from the W, the double range as well. You can trade very effective against the Corki before he hits level 6 as well as a Kalista. I want to see how Giants plays it out. I think this is also more just for Whirlip, because Shen is one of these champions here that really relies a lot on having a standard one-on-one lane, because he needs to rush that first tanky item to really be able to stand toe-to-toe in his laning phase. Obviously, Lulu's going to be able to push him down to his tower, but killing him is going to be extremely difficult for Huni. So Giants opting just for standard lanes. Once again, though, they don't really have any strong lanes. In my opinion, there's no lane that is supposed to win over what Fnatic has put on the board here. Azir against an Ezreal is a very one-sided laning phase as well.
So Fnatic need that laning phase to go well, because of course, as you've mentioned quite extensively, Deficio, the poke and the lack of engagement for Fnatic could come to be problematic. I want to step back and look at the comp holistically though, because Fnatic have put a lot of eggs into the Reckless Kalista basket. And that's not a massively risky thing to say, because we know how good Reckless is. But he's actually the 10th AD carry when it comes to percentage of team damage. Now that is of course because of how involved Reignover and Huni and Febvman are. But it's interesting to note that Reckless is not required to carry most of the time.
And yet, whenever they finally need him, he does step up. The Origin game, he had a fantastic performance on Kalista. I think it was like almost 10 kills picked up for him. So it just shows, again, the different kinds of strategies Fnatic can pull off. Again, you can play around your solo laners, you can play around your AD carry, even, and they try and mix it up a little bit. And it's something we have seen all split long. New picks coming in, new play styles, really try and show, maybe try and confuse other teams coming into playoffs. Like suddenly Huni's playing Lulu. I mean, who needs a carry top laner? But doing this just makes the pick and ban phase that much harder. It's not a Unicorns of Love style where it's like, oh, is there going to be a random Shaco or Teemo jungle or whatever? No. It's more...
It's a lot more calculated, if we can say that. Not to say UOL's not calculated, but it's an element of crazy for them as well. But one thing we've also got to highlight is the fact that because of Fnatic's depth of ability, there's a reason they're 10-0 in summer. So this laning phase, hurting a little for Godfred and Audrey, but Godfred's sustained with that triumphant roar, keeping Audrey topped off and relatively even on CS with the wave pushing towards Giants.
It's a bit of a sustained battle for Giants here, obviously. Godfred, he's going to sit and spam out heals, but every time they trade, you can see how Fnatic is very, very confident, just jumping forward. You have so much damage on this Kalista early on. You pop that W as well with Yellow Star's auto attack. So Giants just gonna have to try and keep even in CS, but the problem is every single lane is being pushed down. That allows Reignover to sit in the rivers and like go in, maybe invade into our Giants jungle. You can see what he's doing now. So basically he's pinging the jungle of Giants. He realizes I couldn't invade it in, but I didn't have any wards. So instead he goes back to base, he buys at least one ward for himself, and now we might see him go in and place that very offensively. Meanwhile, Frederick trying his first gank, and then realizing not gonna happen.
Not the most creative of routes.
Well, look at this here. As soon as he shows himself top, Fabian starts roaming because the mid lane has been pushed in. So you couldn't even go for that gank, but there would be the chance of you being counter-ganked very easily.
Godfred, he manages to connect onto Reckless. The Frost Bomb lands as well. Eye of the Storm comes up. Summoner heal's already been secured. Audrey forced to flash away, holding onto his Summoner heal. All of that aggressive play from Reckless and Yellow Star results in both AD carries going extremely low.
No flash used from Fnatic and no heal used from Giants. And here's Reignover. We talked about this just before. Every single lane is winning and pushing, but then it's very easy to beat a jungler. You just have to walk into the enemy jungle, start trying to take away his camps. You know you're going to get help because your lanes can always move and not lose any farm. So Reignover not having the hardest early game of his life. All he has to do now is just try and track Frederick. If you can always spot where the Gragas is, and that's where Rek'Sai is perfect, you should always be able to inform your lanes. Okay, there's a chance he's ganking bottom lane now. Just play passive just a little bit. And therefore, you also know when Frederick is not around, and you can keep playing aggressive in the lanes if you are Fnatic.
Tremor Sense, extremely useful in teams with good communication. Because of all of the trading and the fighting Audrey and Godfred have had to take part in, they're now 10 CS down, even in the top lane, even in the middle lane. Pepino is doing a decent job using that smite to his advantage to at least stay close to Febivin, and both mid laners now have access to their ultimates.
Tower's slowly being chipped down. Obviously, again, for this Runeglaive Ezreal, you want that first Hydra Sheen first, then you get the Runeglaive, Trailblazer coming in, then you want the loot and Zeko before you really become powerful for yourself, Pepinero. You can find your farm. This is what Ezreal can do in so many lane matchups. You can just turn it into a farm lane. You have no pressure in the lane. You don't really want to fight, but you can just try and sit and farm. He's starting Flask as well, so loads of sustain for himself.
So Godfred once again looking to play aggressive. He's flashed in, got the pulverizer on the head. Stand United's coming in. Reckless has the flash over the wall, and he finds Frederick. Huni was thinking of teleporting, but instantly cancels. Giants off to another strong start.
Great setup here from Giants. Soon as World hit level 6, they're like, okay, let's go for it. Godfred flashed in, had the ulti. Clearly, Reckless did not spot Frederick and just jumped into him. Very good response here, Giants. They have to be able to make these plays. Again, you're slowly losing your lanes. Your towers are getting chipped away, but you have that global pressure of a Shen. Nice little setup, and Dragon as well for them.
Oh, Giants, again, come out the gate swinging. Standard lanes this time around. They managed to punish Godfred's Alistair. You can see why it was first picked. Managing to find Reckless multiple times. Reckless not anticipating that flash pulverize and ends up costing his life.
It's one of the things we heard in that feature before the game started here, before the first one started. Bot lane's talking about how the 2v2 lane There's so many things you have to worry about before you can even start thinking about trading with each other. Because there's someone like, okay, is the TP ready? Is there a ward behind us they can use? Oh, is there Shen ulti now? Where can a jungler be? Like, there's so many things you gotta communicate as a team. Right here for Fnatic. Clearly, they were not ready for the Shen to come in, so they stayed and played aggressive. Could have backed away, picked up the cutlass, and then played a bit more passive, but obviously that's what Shen can do. That's why Shen has come back into the meta as well for them. But Reckless, he's gonna go Blade first item, so I expect him to remain a bit of a split pusher all game long, because again, Fnatic don't really want to allow Giants to group up and start landing this poke. So if you can run 3-1 on the side of Fnatic, Lulu can hold the Shen, and then Reckless, nobody's really gonna stop him one-on-one. That's a way for you to open up the map and play multiple lanes and not allow Giants to sit in close.
Good poke damage there from Reckless onto Adri. Adri's got that sheen. Down.
Oh!
Stolen!
No.
Feb got it.
He's helping.
Feb got it. That got close. I was watching Rainover for some reason. I don't know why. But nevertheless, blue buff secured there for Feb event. Close attempt from Hepinero. He's got that sheen. He'll be farming his way up to the rune wave. Both teams even on gold as we're getting closer to the 10-minute mark. But advantages in top and in AD carry. So despite the kills for Giants, despite the objectives they've gained, Fnatic are still even. This is the same thing that happened in the previous game.
The problem for Giants is every time they want to make a play, they rely on Whirlip having his ulti ready, so they can't keep forcing these plays because then your lane's all being pushed in. Rainover is constantly sitting. Hepinero, man! Helped with the blue buff, now he takes away the Raptor. It technically is his Raptor.
Yeah.
So,
takes
shame
away
on you, Rainover, trying
it.
to steal from Hepinero. It's not okay.
League of Legends, it's okay to steal. All good players steal in League of Legends.
Do they?
Yes, they do. Rainover did it last week. Used the undertow to steal somebody else's dragon.
It's true. He's a rude guy.
He is. He first took. There's the slide and glide from Feathervin. Just to quote Cyanide once more. First Rainover steals his job, then he steals his title.
Yeah.
Of stealing objectives.
It's tough being Cyanide.
It is.
Though he is a fantastic guy.
So we pick our eyes in this top lane. Whirlip's going to go for the dash onto Huni. Wild Growth comes out. The Prey Seeker doesn't connect, but the Glitterlance does. Flash for flash. Whirlip continues to get chased down. Furious Bite comes out. Glitterlance puts the slow. And Rainover gets Fnatic's first kill in this game.
Just a matter of time before Rainover decided, okay, I've done enough counter jungling. I'm going to go for a gank, and then I'm going to go back to counter jungle, of course. Got to get that Grump as well. Again, what happens when every single lane is being pushed down, it just opens up so many possible ganks also with the Rek'Sai. Bot lane here now, Fnatic has to be careful because their jungler has just gone top lane. They know Shen is ulti again, so now you should expect a play to happen on the bot lane, and look what Frederick is doing. He's sitting ready. See if Whirlip is going to use his ulti.
Ultimates available for Reckless and Yellow Star. The knockup comes out as well as the Stands United. Reckless trying to stay alive. Monsoon will knock most of the people away and the True Shot Barrage doesn't connect. Hooney's teleported to the tower and come up from behind. And now it's Frederick, the man that started it, that gets taken out. We see Audrey getting dropped by Hooney with the help of Yellow Star. And the Glitterlance will keep the cow in place. He'll go for the headbutt, but it won't be enough. As Fnatic get 3 kills and punish the tower dive.
I think Giants missed almost everything right there, and I didn't even see if Adri got to join the fight. There was barely any damage on Reckless, but so much time for Fnatic to TP in, to come down with the jungler, even Fibrin roaming. Rainover, he's not done yet. He's dueling the enemy top lane at one-on-one.
Whirlip is picking this fight, and I'm not sure he wants it. Rainover is just gonna regen thanks to that passive. Fnatic turn the pressure around. 4-2 in kills, 3,000 gold lead, a tower, and now Fnatic are saying, we dare you to fight us.
Yeah, this has really gone very wrong for Giants. Kept mentioning how the lane swap is risky, but let's see what happens again here. Oh, the lack of lane swap, sorry. Frederick goes in, so they want Reckless here. First one misses, then they taunt him up, and now Adri jumps in, but great ulti from Yellowstone knocks him away, so there's so little damage on Reckless here. Buys enough time as well for rest of Fnatic to join in. And now you're caught between 2 towers, and everything just goes wrong for Giants. They had the right plan here. Okay, they made a play top. We're gonna make a play bot lane. Again though, so Rek'Sai with ulti can obviously just cross map. Really been such a key pick for Fnatic in this game here. Left open, Alistar was first pick. Rek'Sai was there for Fnatic. And it's been part of everything.
excellent play and reply from Fnatic once more. They do lose... Sorry, they didn't lose that tower, actually. Just taking a look, and it's Fnatic that got the tower a moment ago. Now we need to see whether or not Giants are going to make a play for this dragon. They've got a lot of vision around, but Fnatic have got the power spikes. Blade of the Ruin King finish. Morella Nomicons for mid laner and top laner. Boots as well. And Werlib is still trying to stack up some tankiness. No big items completed yet. Adri down 20-odd CS. No Trinity Force either.
Although Werlib is stacking him out early because he's of course in a one-on-one against Tuni. It opens up for Fnatic to maybe try and surprise him later on in the game. Just quickly swap Reckless into that lane and just take that one-on-one duel of the Blade. But that's again what Reckless is building for. We talked about this, how it looks so risky, like you're picking this very disengaged focus against a lot of poke, strong mid game from Giants, a bit more fairly late mid game, I guess we can say, for the Runeblade Ezreal. They could be very risky, but because it was standard lanes, Giants did not swap it around. They've been pushing in the lanes, and now Fnatic then start using this massive goal lead. They start using this lane pressure to take down the towers. That's going to open up into more map pressure, and then suddenly you can start flanking in on this poke composition from Giants, and they're going to be too weak then to straight up team fight.
And look how oppressive Huni's been. Non-stop aggression in Werlib's face. 40 CS ahead, and the tower secured. Now let's also remember that is because Werlib is stand united twice to come down for ganks. One of them was equalized by Huni. The other, Huni was left alone in the top. But very good advantage for this utility top laner out of Huni. And it's actually what we see him do when he plays Lulu. Last time, very snazzy, very aggressive. Lots of polymorphs and in-your-face little answers.
So basically he's annoying, that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, if you want to TLDR that. But isn't Lulu always annoying?
Yeah, I mean that's her entire... That's how you play Lulu. You also have to spam laugh when you run around. Like, that's just part of playing Lulu. Fnatic will get the dragon. Not going to matter a whole lot in this case. And of course, Reckless eats a True Shot Barrage in his face. That's the payback. Bot mid tower going down again. Every single lane has slowly but surely been pushed down. This is really going back to pick and ban phase for Giants. How they pick weak laners, and then they also pick a setup where they're like, no, we kind of want to have that Shen one-on-one, so we don't want to swap it clearly. And it really hurts them so much.
Just look at the mini-map and see all of the wards, all of the tunnels, all of the vision that Fnatic have on the map. It is completely dominated. We're 15 minutes in, Fnatic have got 5,000 gold up, 3 towers to 0, and Adri is going to take a little bit of poke there from Reckless. And we can just see Fnatic keeping up the pressure, keeping up the attacks, and trying to deny Giants as many resources as possible.
And I remember Fnatic want to see if they can keep splitting up the map. If you're AD carry, nobody can really one-on-one her. Let's see, mid lane though.
While Frederick is going to jump on Febiven, the Shurima Shuffle's not available. Emperor's Divide flashes away from True Shot Barrage. We do see the Azir turret getting dropped as Fnatic are in retreat. Now Emperor's Divide gets released. It looked like it locked Werlib aside. A couple of stacks of Rend, but not enough for the kill. So Fnatic survived the engage. Did need to use teleport from Huni, and now the pressure is on. Adri left alone down bottom, while Fnatic group up in the middle.
No mana for Pipinero here. Again, we talked about this build, how much mana you use for it, and there's nothing you can smite to get it back. So Fnatic, after winning the fight, one of the things about Azir as well is once you take down that mid tower, you just plant your own turret and you start playing around that one, and you keep the pressure up. That way you never really just back away. Giants tried to make a play, backfired for them, lost another tower though. Got the bot lane at least for Adri.
So trading towers, inner turret for outer turret, and Fnatic roamed top. So at least shove the minion wave in. It looks like somebody will be around to pick up a couple of those farm. Not enough to really siege with. And Reckless is just going to continue to extend that lead. Recurve bow picked up. We'll be going into that Renan's Hurricane in a moment or two. As obviously we can just watch the Rend over and over. It's quite hypnotizing actually.
Enjoy the small things. I want to see Lulu do it. It's still one of the best replays we've seen.
That's ages ago now.
It is, but it's a good one.
The super slow-mo of Lulu clearing a wave.
Diana as well, when she just curves it around.
Reminds me of Angelina Jolie from... What's the movie where she curved the bullet?
Wanted?
Was it wanted?
I want to say yes.
Don't remember.
Otherwise, she bent it like Beckham.
No, we're not going that far back.
No?
No, no. Pepinero with the Luden's Echo and the Rune Glaive does land a Mystic Shot onto Rainover. Rainover gets caught out. His tunnel's interrupted. This time he flashes. He's going to find another tunnel to back away. And Yellowstar flashes the dash. But Fnatic punished for overextending ever so slightly.
Giants, though, we keep seeing how every time World has ulti, they want to try and make a play. They know that's where they can force a fight. Fnatic disengage, though, but it does mean they can start pushing in mid. But look at the side lanes. We talk about this over and over. 1-3-1 setup. Huni in one lane. Kalista in the other one. You just push it in. You don't care about Giants taking your mid tower. If you take 2 tier 1 towers, 2 of them.
Huni is on the inner turret. We'll catch a glance of Reckless in a minute.
Might be able to defend this one here from Werlip.
So Werlip going to get caught by the little onslaught. 2 levels down, 60 CS down. All of the damage though, so if that happens once more, it will be enough for a kill. Huni going to get jumped on, but so is Adri. Gets caught out by Fate's Call. The interrupt is not going to happen from the Howling Gale. And Reckless and Yellowstar trying to get one. Feathervin's going to get caught out. He's down. Empress Divide comes on. Fnatic with some uncharacteristic mistakes in their invades.
Still, well played by Giants. Thought Fnatic would at least get one of the outer turrets down. They will get this one now, so obviously as you talked about the second time around, Fnatic already poked it down. But Giants at least showing they know they have to try and make a play and start using this Corki Ezreal together. The Luden's Echo is played with Pepinero, obviously. This is where he starts becoming stronger and stronger. Now he's finally hit a big power spike for himself, and they got the mid tower at least. Got a pick, so they're still behind. But this is what Giants is going to be forced to do. They're not going to be able to hold the 2 side lanes. Once the wave are reset, which means now once here Adri goes back into this bottom lane and he starts to slow push for themselves, that's where Giants have to use him then, swap him into the mid lane with Pepinero, and see if you can force Fnatic to sit as a group. Start landing that poke from this Ezreal here. Maybe play around the Dragon as well by landing some poke first. Otherwise, Fnatic is just going to go back to push out these side lanes, and then it becomes so difficult because Azir is going to try and wave the mid on his own, and Giants then suddenly runs out of things they can't really do on the map.
Well, there's 6,000 gold down. Giants don't have a whole lot of things they can do. With following True Shot, that's stole.
Yeah, that's key. You use so much mana with this build and Rainover. He doesn't use any mana.
No, it doesn't use mana this time around. We see Fnatic putting some pressure on this top half of the map. Despite losing blue buff, one of the things Fnatic are known for between 20 and 30 minutes is going for those Barons. Yes, they're up against 2 smites, but they have the Rend from Reckless's Kalista. Look at the difference. 17 Barons in 10 games. I do not think there is a better Baron team in Europe than Fnatic. And that's probably an easy statement to say.
Yeah, thank you.
Captain Obvious.
Fairly simple statement, but Godfred. Oh, he's going straight in.
He's going to get the 3-man knock-up. Unbreakable Will comes out. Pepinero's not looking for the fight. He needs to jump backwards. Huni's in trouble. Wild Growth comes up as he gets dash taunted. The Monsoon will keep him alive before the True Shot Barrage will pick up a kill. It's Fnatic, though. They're in a little bit of trouble. Now they're in a lot of trouble. 3 members down. Rainover cannot find a reply back. 4 members of Fnatic are down, and Giants are looking for objectives.
I have no idea what Pepperman was trying to do here. He dashed in, ends up being caught behind the tanks of Giants. Doesn't really get to do anything. He just got taunted up, I believe. Didn't even use his ulti. He obviously tried to make a pick on the backline of Giants, but very, very risky play. Giants now. Well, I mean, you can take your Baron stats, Trevor. Giants don't care about that.
6 seconds, 5 seconds. Huni's coming in. Baron down to 3,000 to 2,000. Oh, Werlip, blue buff. Sorry, I got excited. Oh, I got so excited, but that's going to work out. Did you see it eventually coming in?
Why is he in now?
Well, should be able to at least get an exit frag. Flash into body slam. Glitterlance does not connect. Giants survive. Get Baron on 5. And manage to escape. They're back in it.
Let's see again. Shen ulti is ready. Godfred is going. This is a perfect engage from him onto 3 guys, and he's tanking up the damage of Breakers. Febren, he dived in, tried to get Pepinero, who then flashes out, and now you're caught here as an Azir. You never really get to do anything, never get to do any kiting if you are a Fnatic. And all they managed to do was really hit Godfred, who's even still alive for themselves. Werle was the only guy who went down. Giants win the fight. Beautiful ulti from Pepinero as well, but Godfred and Werle together, starting it. Then Pepin just jumping in.
And again, we have to keep talking. That was a first pick Alistar. Godfrey is really showing up. He's finding the targets. I do think you have to call out the elephant in the room. Fnatic have made some uncharacteristic mistakes. We don't often see them getting caught out like that. We don't often see them initiating team fights that do not work in their favor. And despite Fnatic holding the gold lead, they now have to contest with Baron for a few more minutes.
Yeah, and we still have to remember, they're not running with any hard engage on their side. So now, Giants going in again.
Godfrey does catch Reina, but Wild Growth has already been used. We do see the Monsoon keeping him alive for a few seconds longer. Ren will not secure a kill. Reckless is life-stealing, but look at the poke. Mystic shot and a big one. It's going to hurt. Reckless is going low. He's going to get caught out. Not going to die just yet. True Shot Barrage has already been used, but Giants get what they want, the tower.
Again, this from Champ Select here with Fnatic, this risky comp here. If you don't keep the goal lead, if you cannot do the 1-3-1 setup, like if you make one mistake, suddenly it becomes so hard. You see the damage from Pepinero already. It's only going to get worse, by the way. It's only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Giants, as long as they don't take any bad fights and continue to group and have this poke, there's very little Fnatic they can do in response. Reina was the guy to jump in, then get this ulti from Lulu. That's how you can try and start the fight. But there's a lot of disengage on Giant side as well.
To Officio, the 10-0 Fnatic is looking oh so mortal. Fate's Call not available for Reckless as he's posturing aggressively down the lane. Giants even on gold. Close to even on towers. And they've made great use of Baron so far.
So now Baron is going to run out. So now it's time for Fnatic again to say, okay, that was a mistake. We misplayed that team fight. We gave Giants a chance to play that composition the way it was supposed to play. Now we go back to this 1-3-1 setup. Reckless is still extremely strong on this Kalista. Huni can just always shove the other lane against the Shin. Shin has no wave play. He can't really push it back in time. And then you just have to wait for the next time Giants wants to try and start a fight themselves. They have Talisman completed. For Godfrey has been there for a while. But that is key, because he's the guy who's most likely going to jump in, or Frederick, and then have that Shin ulti on them. And then you got to try and get picks on Febiven, if you can, in that mid lane to keep pushing in. Otherwise, go for one of the side lanes. But now you're doing it, Adri. Yeah.
Fnatic do what Fnatic do best. The Death Bush. And the Death Bush is always better with Tremor Sense.
And also if the enemy AD carry face checks. That is a bonus.
It is always a bonus.
Always a bonus.
That's a good read. Fnatic knew Adri would face check. No, I'm being silly now. So they get a kill into Adri. Reckless is going to steal away the red buff. Look top. You can see Huni and Werlib going toe-to-toe. There is a Wild Growth available, but this trade, Werlib ends up winning. Comes out ahead with the Spirit Visage and that Sunfire Cape. I mean, a little more difficult to bully. He's not giving up yet. We do see Reckless is going to find Frederick. And that means Huni's peeled backwards as well.
It's always fun, though, to watch Giants play. I mean, now to show up big time against Fnatic. We have a good game going on here. Both teams definitely still in the game. Two different ways they want to play it out. And then it feels like the next day you just see a Giants team who loses in the early game, and then they run TP Orianna or something, and it just looks really strange. But they are 5-5 for a reason. They have been sitting as the 4th team in Europe for quite some time this season. Well, yeah, I mean, this is gonna hurt. Now you're overextending for no reason.
Pop! Goes the Weasel. Oh, I missed a prime opportunity. I could have gone pop goes the Werlib. Hindsight is 2020, and easy kill there for Reckless and Yellow Star. Actually, that's the second in a row. Adri overextends, gets punished. Werlib overextends, gets punished.
Yeah.
Giants now also need to be a little more cautious.
Feels like Giants got a little bit overhyped from the great Baron they had before, the team fight into the top tower. And really need to just calm down, because Fnatic have plenty of time to reposition on that map. So Adri obviously shouldn't just try and walk straight through that bush where he died in the bottom lane. Werlib shouldn't start pushing top, because if you look at the rest of the map, Giants are like 2 members running from base. They were not in a position to punish Fnatic for sending multiple guys to one, and that's always what you gotta do. If you set up a split push, you need to have it so you have at least 2 lanes where there's some pressure and you have a cross-map objective. So in case they walk up 2 or 3 guys to gank the one guy pushing, you need to be able to get something elsewhere on the map or react in time and come up and counter gank it. Giants were not in a position to do that both times, so they gave up 2 free kills to Fnatic.
So Feb have been buying a little bit of time here by throwing up the turrets in the mid. It will be dropping in a moment. Take a look, Werlib with teleporting Stand United down bottom. Gonna try push that wave out. Huni currently with the team in the middle. And And we see that Pepinero has been able to finish off that Rabadon's death cap. He's also currently running that elixir of sorcery, so wants all of the power in the world. The sorcery plus that Runeglaive means he's going to hurt towers real hard.
And this is where Giants wants Fnatic to be. All 5 members stuck under a tower, Shen split pushing on his own, and then you try and land that poke. Pepinero has not been able to connect anything for himself. Keep in mind, again, he needs to smite these camps here in the jungle to regain mana, but Fnatic, they're just going to go in.
Talisman of Ascension is available. Unbreakable comes up from Godford. Whirlip has arrived. He's not going to be able to taunt though. Reckless is staying alive. Pepinero is looking for one, but he can't find it. Whirlip has got so many stacks up. The Rend is not going to get the kill, but Huni will get dropped. So far, Fnatic have lost one. They do have Giants retreating, but Fnatic cannot continue the chase. The lack of engage shows through.
Yeah, the only thing they can do here is they pop the Talisman here. They have to lure Whimsy so they can run at Giants and start the fight. But you can just see how Giants, they keep dancing in and out here. Pepinero is so hard to lock down. Cooldown reduction on his Ezra here. The Blink is getting fairly short cooldown for himself, so he can just keep dancing around. This is going to be risky though, and Fnatic, they're still around. Febiven has everything ready for this fight.
All is available. Emperor's Divide could lock Giants in the pit between Fnatic and a Baron. Rainover, he's going to tunnel in, will not get the Baron, but he will knock up 2. Now Rainover's going to lose his life. Shurima Shuffle locks Giants up against the wall, and Reckless is looking to clean up. Can he kill all of Giants? Rend is available, landing the auto attacks. We see Huni get one, Reckless gets another. Reckless, life sustains through the rest. A flash over the wall as Huni gets the Clitterlance kill as Whirlip throws out the Vorpal Blade. They trade 4 for 3, but Giants get Baron number 2.
Yeah, 2 Barons for them. Whirlip should be able to just dash over the wall here and stay alive. Fnatic gets a lot of kills in this game here. We can see whenever Giants get to group up, how Fnatic using all the mobility to try and get in there. Can't really lock down enough targets. This Baron here was started, obviously a lot of low members from Giants. And Febiven, again, he had everything ready. And now Kalista joins in. So the 2 carries are still alive for Fnatic. They jump in after Baron goes down. Nobody can really get on to Reckless in the backline. Febiven obviously sacrificing himself to do so much damage. And now Giants is stuck in the Baron pit. There's no way to go.
A lot of damage though.
Look at the damage from Pepinero, by the way. On to Huni. Very, very soon. This is what you can do. Oh. Hello. I mean, keep in mind your Runeglaive as well has an AP scaling. That hurts.
Well, now we see why the hype was there. But I didn't quite expect to see it in LCS. Fnatic are still only 1,000 gold up at 30 minutes to Fisher, but they do have 3-1 dragons. We saw that dragon secured by Rain for a moment.
We get to see the good version of Runeglaive as well, where he gets to late game, where he gets these items, so he becomes such a monster. If we see him more and more, we will also see games where he gets shut down early on and simply has too slow of a scaling, and then does absolutely nothing. But in this case here, Pepinero's had a very, very strong game. Giants once again. No side lane for Fnatic to push. They don't have the time to start grouping up because so many people died in the last fight. And Giants gets to set up a siege. Look for Pepinero's damage. It's literally just about him when it comes to dealing damage from Giants here in the late game.
Whirlip does have Stand United and Baron, so if you wanted to push a side lane, it would work out, but they're not going to get the chance. Fnatic forced to defensively use Monsoon and the Emperor's Divide. Rainover's dropped by Pepinero. He's looking to land Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot. A barrage from Audrey gets the second kill. Giants are on the verge of stopping Fnatic's win streak. They're now knocking on the inhibitor turrets, and there's no wave clear to speak of. With Baron-empowered minions, Giants may be doing the unthinkable.
Every single time Fnatic is stuck under their tower, they cannot properly start the fight. Pepinero takes 0 damage and he just destroys your entire team. At the same time, Giants on the Nexus turret.
Well, can Huni defend? Nexus turret number 1 is down. The rest of Giants setting their sights onto number 2. It looks like they want to back away. Febiven's been able to push himself in, and Giants have cracked open the base. Rainover's looking for a fight, but he's too close. Now he needs to peel away. They're trying to chase further. Super minions will be coming in. Frederick's been knocked up. Frederick's been taken out with the help of Huni. True shot.
Huni's down.
Snipe off Huni before he can wild growth himself. We do see Febiven with the shifting sand sliding forward. Fnatic have got 1, but that is it. Now
look at Huni on the player cam.
Huni is face down. Pepinero, look at the damage. He's got another one. 7-1-7, and he's flying away.
He was out of mana, but he went into the jungle. He got the blue buff, used the smite as well. Look at his mana now. He's back fighting. And this guy, he got to late game, and he shows why this pick can be so strong. And also, Fnatic getting punished. We mentioned it in Champs, like we talked about it a few times. They're running with so little engage. They're running a disengaged composition against poke. And they saw the poke comp being built from the start from Giants. There was like big signs saying poke comp incoming. And yet Fnatic opted for this here. It was risky, and right now they're paying the price.
Raynova does not have flash, but Fnatic are looking for more. Talisman of Ascension is available, but Yellow Star's way too far away. True Shot Barrage goes out. Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for solo queue.
Oh, it's already there, don't worry.
Runeglaive Ezreal.
Now we just need to bring back DFG, and then we do exactly the same.
Fnatic have super minions to deal with. Are down in gold, down in kills, down in towers.
And if we go back, this game here completely turned around when we had that team fight around Baron, where Fnatic got engaged on by Godfred and then Whirlip jumping in, the Alistar pick for Godfred. Fibman tried to dive in and try and shoot back Pepinero. Didn't manage to get him, then he was caught, then he ends up dying without even doing anything. Teamfight goes over to Giants to take the Baron. That's what they needed to even up the goal, because before that, the weak lanes of Giants got punished in the 2v2 lane, in the 1-on-1 lanes. They fell behind. It looked great for Fnatic in the 1-3-1, but that one team fight gave Giants what they needed to group and keep Fnatic grouped together where they couldn't do anything with their comp. They can still try and get Pepinero down. He has 0 defensive items. But who's gonna dive onto him? There's no flash for Rain over here. Febren might be able to dive in and shoot him back, but Ezra has that blink where it becomes super hard.
Wow!
Hello.
Void Staff, Large Rod, Ludens, and Runeglaive means that Huni gets almost one shot by a True Shot Barrage. Azir turret is protecting the inhibitor for a few seconds before it is taken down. And now Frederick is caught a little bit out of position. Reckless is going to hop through the gates. Ren is going to be enough to get the kill. And we see the Fates Call coming back in. Now Giants may have bitten off more than they can chew. Talisman of Ascension, I think, is still available. We'll check that in a moment. Fnatic get a kill. They defend. And it does look like they're going to hold fast.
Yeah, important kill onto Frederick. Standing in the base, just trying to get away. But there's still a lot of damage on the side of Fnatic with this Kalista and Azir, obviously. We reset the whole thing. Baron is up in 30 seconds. Dragon is not going to be a thing at the moment. Fnatic can still go towards the 5, but that's going to be in another about 12 minutes time for them. That's a lie, obviously, about 6-7 minutes time. And Pepinero, it's not even done yet. Almost. Just needs that hourglass.
This is the closest to defeat Fnatic has come all split long. They only have one Nexus turret remaining. Baron is up in 2 seconds time. There is a stand united for Whirlip. Yellow Star blinking red. Rainova's found Godfred, but he's got no support from anybody else. Let's look for those mystic shots from Pepinero. Yellow Star's managed to heal up. Home Guard boots also coming back. So Baron seems to be the focus for Fnatic. At least to defend.
Both teams, we mentioned before, there's no like 5th dragon incoming, so that's where you're gonna have to fight around. It is a chance, like Pokecoms really want the Baron, but at the same time they don't want to be caught inside the Baron because they need to be able to kite. We will get the fight though.
Fnatic have started this one. Look at Pepinero. He's already used True Shot Barrage, but it doesn't get a kill. Audrey is going low. The Ren's not going to be enough to secure it. Monsoon is going to scrum. Mess up the fight. Febiven throws down Emperor's Divide. He manages to get Frederick as I reset myself. Whirlip gonna dash towards away. Fnatic will not go quietly into the night. They will continue to fight and they will take Pepinero down. Runeglaive means nothing. Fnatic turn to Baron. 3 for 1 and they should get this.
Giants never managed to group together here and start poking as a unit. Instead they were split up. Reckless on Kalista. This guy has shown up whenever Fnatic needed him to carry. He's doing it again now for them. It doesn't matter that he's number 10 for 80 carries in terms of percent damage on his team. In these late game fights, he's always there. They have a lot of mobility in terms of the Talisman, the Janna of course, the Lulu, the Whimsy, jumps from a Kalista. So whenever Giants is split up and they don't manage to land that poke from Pepinero, Fnatic is still able to win the fight. Take a dragon as well. It's not over yet.
And what a difference it makes when Febiven is able to at least interrupt Pepinero. Even though he didn't necessarily assassinate him, just get him away from the fight for a few seconds. That's all Reckless needs. Dragon number 4, Baron number 1. Fnatic now have the tools they need to win.
And look at this here. So both teams want to try and set up the Baron, but Fnatic just want a chance to start a fight where Giants is not sitting and poking. Pepinero is down here on the bottom. He gets Shen ult and everything, but notice how everyone from Fnatic jumps away from him, except for Febiven. He's saying, you know what? I'm just going to jump in on my own to zone you away, force him to jump over the wall. So now the rest of Fnatic can take a 4v4 team fight where they are stronger. Corki is not that good at this point. It's about Pepinero. And that was very, very important, and it was mainly about the fact that both teams were trying to set up a Baron, and nobody were really in a perfect position. But out in the open, when the mobility really counts, that's where Fnatic then can shine.
Don't forget just how much additional damage Reckless is getting with all that attack speed from the help picks. We saw it there in that team fight. All of the auto attacks that Reckless can get down. Play the Rune King, Bloodthirst, he's got a Banshees as well. True Shot Barrage gonna fly wide this time around. And Pepe's at full build. Zhonya's Hourglass completed. For Fnatic, 1-3-1. The order has been given. Will it be enough to close this game out? And of course, Deficio, all of the lack of initiation can somewhat be countered when Whimsy gives you plus 96% movement speed.
It helps.
Base of 30, plus 66% from Fooni's ability power.
It's always been one of the things about AP Lulu, the fact she had that ratio on Whimsy, why she adds so much utility also in the late game. Of course, it's not about the damage for her.
Reckless is in trouble.
He's all alone for now. Yellowslide's nearby.
Saved his life. Howling Gal keeps him alive.
Oh, Godfrey missed.
Being used. Godfrey does not connect this time round. Hooney's coming with a teleport, and Unbreakable will time out. Where is Febiven? Can he find someone? Rainover's knocked up Frederick, and we can see Shen's late. Godfrey is down! Fnatic even up the kills. They are now onto the inhibitor turret as there are no more supers. Take a look at the True Shot Barrage. Hooney with an early wild growth. Rainover's forced to retreat as he's been chunked very, very low. Wild growth has worn off, and Reckless trying to use the shields to tank up what he can and sustain through the rest.
As long as they keep them on him, he can go in and hit the towers at least a few times. Fnatic will get this one.
They will. Now Werlib is being auto-attacked down. Reckless is hopping forward. He's skipping forward. He's looking for the damage. The inhibitor is now down, and Fnatic seem angry. They get the inhib and they back away. We're 41 minutes in, and Fnatic have cracked open Giants base.
And I just love this game here, and I love the fact we get to see how both comps can be super strong, but also what can they be weak against? Whenever Giants is forced into fights where they never get to sit and land the poke first, Fnatic can keep jumping around with this Kalista. Multiple shields, I mean, Janna's shield, you got Lulu's shield, you give her their 90% movement speed as well, just give her everything. And Rex can keep jumping around.
He can only jump now because he's not wearing shoes. Sold his boots for Zephyr. Let's see if this will work for Reckless. Positioning so important. Everyone's going to slide away from that True Shot Barrage, but crucially for Fnatic, they can now try push the middle or bottom lanes with supers in top.
Just looking at two superheroes fight each other in Pepinero versus Reckless right here. And of course, all the other members are still helping quite a lot, but like the main damage dealers are these two guys. Has been in every single fight almost. Pepinero is more the guy who's just gonna try and be a bit annoying, see if he can like get some attention from Pepinero, be like, come, hit me instead of Reckless, and then it's okay. And then Reckless can clean up the front line of Giants. Meanwhile, obviously can't ignore the fact that it's here as well will have fantastic damage if Pepin's left to do it. He's never really been in a position to have much of an impact for him when it comes to damage.
So Fnatic playing this one a little more safe. They've got some wards in the bottom half of Giants jungle. They're down one tower, but for Fnatic, they are 1.5 minutes away from Aspect of the Dragon. And a couple minutes after that, from another Baron. As if on cue, the timer spawns.
Magic.
Fnatic now have to decide which objective do they want to fight around.
I didn't even realize before now that Adri is sitting on Hexstring, or sorry, Mortis for himself. He's really not doing a lot of damage in this game. Obviously, why would you even go for that in this case here? I mean, there's not a whole lot of threat against you.
I don't know. Void Staff, Lichbane, Deathcap, Lulu. Can still hurt. Come on, man.
I guess. I would still prefer just to go full damage for him in this case here, because Giants really needs more than just Pep and Arrow in the fights. They're also going for BT. So he's going for like ultra defensive build. Like if BT of the three options, Blade of the Ruined King and Vintage, and BT obviously is the weakest one in terms of damage. The deal, it's for long range poke and safety. Blade of the Ruined King is a lot better for overall damage if you're against tanks. Obviously, there's not a whole lot on the side of Fnatic. Just the Rek'Sai.
Let's look at what Giants are doing. Talisman of Ascension is popped. Godfred is saying, Giants, we want your inhibitor. Looking at Fnatic. Dragon is up in 5 seconds time, and a Zia turret will stall this push.
And Fnatic is saying, if you try and land any poke, we shield our AD carry and we send him forward. So he's the guy who's going to eat up all the poke, because he has these shields here. It's a Jugger Kalista, Jugger Reckless comp for Fnatic, and he's the guy soaking up damage. Reynova, he really wants this dragon. It's going to be number 5 for them.
Reynova's a little bit caught out. The rest of Fnatic trying to come in. He was need to kick out of the team. We do see Reckless is throwing down the auto attacks. Frederick's jump forward. He's looking for Huni. We do see Emperor's Divine. Now, the Fate's Call. Gonna throw up Frederick. That's a double kill for Reckless. He's unstoppable. He's looking for Audrey, and Audrey is forced to run away. The dragon is now being focused. Aspect of the dragon is secured.
Jen is coming.
He's going to get Stand United. Reckless is taunted. But the knockback, that's the third. Reckless is looking for 4th. A double-double as he doubles down. Fnatic were out of the game, but now they're in the game. Aspect of the dragon and more objectives to knock down.
And every single fight is just use everything you have on Reckless. Allow him to just jump forward. Pep and Arrow, time to show what kind of superhero you are.
Fnatic will be knocking down the Nexus. They've done it once, they've done it twice, they've done it 11 times in the summer split and remain undefeated. Don't really know how to follow that, Fisho.
I really enjoyed this game.